came together. I'm jealous of all the fans in Arizona that get to check out this art gallery.
Well, I think everybody needs to understand that I majored in photojournalism 40 years ago in college in the early 80s. So when I was still learning about photography, I was still learning about baseball and getting an education at the same time. And so it started back then, and obviously when I've retired, I've picked up the camera and got busy again because it was important to keep my mind going, and it was an easy transition. I initially started doing a lot of USO tours around the world, visiting our men and women that are serving our country, and I would bring a camera and do a little bit of photography there, but then I was just really enjoying the travel aspect of it, and then I started traveling and going to Africa, and I just started getting a large volume of work, and was asked recently, about 3 years ago, if I was interested in doing a photography exhibit at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And so the content that I had the most of was from Africa and Ethiopia. So I had about a 40 photograph exhibit in Cooperstown for about 7 months, and when that was wrapping up, I was approached by a gallery in Scottsdale here. The Scottsdale Performing Arts has a really nice gallery there, and it's right down the street from where the San Francisco Giants have spring training, their stadium. So I had another exhibit there for a couple of months, and then the last exhibit I most recently had was in a hotel called the Foundry here in downtown Phoenix, and they were excited about having the exhibit, but they wanted me to show a little bit more of a broader view of my work, and that consisted of like early concerts that I had been to when I was with the Daily Trojan, the college newspaper. I was going to concerts and taking photos because someone would be doing a review of the concert. They needed a photo of it. So I had stuff like that, and just, skyline pictures and scenic kind of stuff. And so it was just kind of a overall view of my photography from the very beginning to where I'm at now with the world travel that I do now.
Hey, Randy, it's Dan. Have you had a chance to see any of Ken Griffey Jr.'s work? It's interesting. 2 former Mariners, and he's kind of making a name for himself, too, taking photos.
I haven't, but he has reached out to me a few times because I think he's gone to Africa. I don't shoot a whole lot of sports. I do a lot of traveling and do a lot of skyline and, Africa. I just put out a coffee table book of Africa and Ethiopia, and so I've really been concentrating on that for about the last year and a half, and it's been out now for about the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 months. But he has reached out about going to Africa, and I'm a little bit more connected in that field than I am doing sports. I know that he shoots a lot of sports, and I just kind of veered off from there and do a little bit more of the kind of stuff that I'm into.
Randy, hey, it's Case. Facing you when you're on the mound, I was always like, wow, this guy's so locked in and scared right now. He's in character, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do when he throws 100 miles an hour behind me. I was thinking that, when
you're safe now, Case. You're safe. Calm down. Calm down. You're safe.
I'm still nervous, Randy. I'm still nervous, man. I'll tell you what. But I always felt like you were in character on the mound because, and we were going one-on-one. I was like, man, it was a little nerve-wracking for you. Now, with photography, when you go to Africa and you're looking at an elephant and you're looking at these lions that are so close to you, and when you go to a concert and you're backstage and you're on the side of the stage, are you getting into character there and getting as locked in mentally as you were when you faced me my first time? And I think I might have needed a diaper.
I think there is a great connection for me with my photography and my approach that I had towards pitching. If I just got back from Japan, I was over there for 2 weeks. I went to Kyoto and I went to Tokyo, and I was supposed to go to Myanmar, but about 2.5 weeks ago, they had a massive earthquake, about 7.7. And I was going to be going there, but I had to unfortunately cancel that portion of the trip. But when I do go on a trip, I do a lot of research. I know where I'm going, what time of the year I'm going, what time of the day or evening I'm going. I have a guide, and I know what I want to. I know what I want to see, and I know what I want to try to accomplish while I'm there. And so it's no different than when I was going over reports of the person that I was going to be pitching against tomorrow. Know their strengths and weaknesses, and that changes pitch per pitch. And so your game plan changes, but I went out there being prepared and knowing what I was planning on doing, and then try to stay to the game plan. But you understand that even in my travels with my photography, that changes, but definitely with the pitching.
Hey, Randy, getting back to baseball, so well documented, the conversation you had with Nolan Ryan when you were trying to figure out this whole pitching thing. Can you take us into that conversation you had with Nolan?
Yeah, that was very early in my career. It was 1992 in Seattle in the Kingdome, and I had had some marginal success, just enough to keep me around, I think, and keep me motivated. But you know, in case you know, when you have success, you know you're capable of doing it, and you're striving to have it all the time. And I could go out and strike out 15 batters in 6 innings, and then 5 days later I would walk 7 batters, and there just wasn't a lot of consistency, and that's what I was striving for. And in the Kingdome one day, we were playing the Texas Rangers, and Nolan Ryan was throwing a bullpen, and Tom House, the pitching guru back in the early 90s with the Rangers, was a former USC alum, and that's where I went to school. And I think he did me a huge favor by asking if I wanted to come and watch Nolan throw a bullpen session, and then they just kind of told me what he was doing and what I wasn't doing. And what I was doing was landing on the heel of my foot, kind of spinning off towards third base. And what Nolan was doing was landing on the ball of his foot, and all of his momentum would be going towards home plate. And as soon as I was able to accomplish that, then I started having a lot of fun in the game.
Randy, when you go back and look at your career, one of the greatest careers, ever, what was the greatest moment for you when you look back at your career?
I wouldn't change anything. I think the failure that I had, the struggles that I had motivated me. And then the success that I had didn't change me. I just wanted more of it. And I knew that if I put the time and effort in, that would be my reward. You're not always rewarded, but you definitely learn a lot along the way. But the greatest moments I think I had were, in 2 major cities that I played a majority of my career. In Seattle in 1995 was a pretty impactful year for the Seattle Mariners and what I did there. And then in 2001 here in Arizona, winning the World Series. Those are my biggest accomplishments. And then obviously I have several individual and personal accomplishments, but from the team aspect, contributing and getting us to where we wanted to be, and inevitably in 2001, what we wanted to do, win a World Series, that's my biggest accomplishment.
4 consecutive Cy Youngs. There's a chance, Randy, we never see that again. I mean, the historical context of your career has to be kind of set off to the side, and then we look at pitchers as if they're everyone else. When you dominated the game, final question from us, we know you got to go. Did you feel like you were at
Casey, are you digging in on me right there? Don't be digging a toe hole there.
That's what he does.
Already, baby.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you were the best pitcher in the world? Oh, this is amazing. This video right here.
Well,
let's watch this at bat. Let's break this at bat down, Case.
Okay. I'm gonna break this down. RJ, really quick.
It's a no. I thought it got over his head.
No, RJ, this is what made me so mad was that I felt like when I faced you and I hit a rocket, there should be no fielders.
You saw the ball good, right?
Yeah,
right.
On that one, I did, but I'm saying most of the time I did. It looked like a P coming up there. But on this one, when I hit this one, I saw DeLucci out there and left. I'm like, I have to get a hit on that. I'm facing Randy Johnson. This is an absolute battle, and there should be no players out here.
You needed to talk to the hitters around the league because the word is, after I retired, several of them came up and told me that I was tipping my pitches. So evidently you didn't get that memo.
Really? Are you serious? Why? How come no one told me? What are we doing?
I know, and nobody told me either.
Randy, this was a blast. Best of luck with the gallery, the photography gallery. People should go check it out at Chase Field. It is always a pleasure to catch up with one of the greatest pitchers in the history of the game. Hall of Famer Randy Johnson, thank you so much.
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yeah,
You
man.
have
Good luck,
Randy
buddy.
Johnson.